Hi everyone. In my last message, I shared with everyone why I was stressed and how I was dealing with that. Since then, I've heard from so many of you. I want to thank you all for reaching out, for sharing your own stresses, your own techniques on how to deal with stress, and for simply checking in on me. Today, I want to make the case that some of us are dealing with our stress in ways that are actually causing us to feel even more stress. We don't even realize that we're contributing to the chaos in and around ourselves. The first step in fixing any problem is recognizing that one exists. So let me explain what I mean. When you feel stressed out, how do you show up and how does it come out? You might think you're holding it together and suppressing your feelings, but when you're feeling overwhelmed and stressed, I promise it is coming out and it is impacting your coworkers, family, friends, and even your patients. When pushed, are you the aggressor who yells? Are you the victim who complains or is huffing and puffing around the office? Or are you the avoider who just ignores everything and puts your head in the sand? If one of these sounds like you, then your behavior is adding fuel to your fire and is making things worse for yourself and everyone around you. Don't believe me? Think about a young child. When a child is stressed, whether they are tired, hungry, or just home from a long day at school, and we ask them to do something that is difficult for them or that they simply don't want to do, they too will either shut down, throw a tantrum, or complain. Now, when a child acts this way and we react instead of calmly responding, things escalate. Doors slam, not nice words fly, you get the picture. On the other hand, if your child gets triggered and acts this way and we calmly respond, things de-escalate much faster. Our reactive behavior with a child escalates the situation and our stress level, as does our reactive behavior in the office. When we're at work, sometimes the child in us comes out and our environment and emotional well-being become more chaotic, the exact opposite of what we're trying to accomplish. The good news is that if we have the power to make things worse, then we have the power to make things better. Remember that we cannot control our environment or other people's behavior. We can only control our response, and how we respond or react will either escalate or de-escalate the situation. When we try to control the circumstances and the behavior of the people around us, we become exhausted, more stressed, and we get nowhere. So, with that information, I have a challenge for you. For 1 week, I ask every one of you to pay careful attention. Pay attention to your thoughts, your mood, and your behavior. Notice how your thoughts and mood get you to respond to triggers in certain ways. What things trigger you and when? Are you sometimes the aggressor, the victim, the complainer? But most importantly, I bet we all have times when we don't get triggered by a situation. We respond calmly and successfully de-escalate something. How do we do that? The challenge is simply to take note. Once you recognize that your thoughts and actions are contributing to your stress, you will be motivated to fix it. But I caution you not to berate yourself for your behavior. Recognize your patterns, accept them with kindness, and then work to improve them. It takes time to change bad habits. Just as the toddler cannot always control his tantrums, neither can we. If you recognize that you've behaved poorly, acknowledge it to yourself. Apologize to your unintended victims and work to do better next time. If you're on the receiving end of bad behavior, I ask you to be understanding and forgiving, but do not ignore or accept it. When a toddler comes out of a timeout, he typically apologizes, parent and child hug, and they move on. But once in this calm state, the parent tells the toddler what behavior she expects in the future. Similarly, if a doctor, office manager, or coworker misbehaves and then sincerely apologizes and is working to do better, I ask you to give them a second chance and a clean slate as well. At the same time, if you feel you are on the receiving end of poor behavior, then please let someone know. Your office manager, partner in the office, HR, or even reach out to me. We are all doing the best we can with what we have, and we all deserve to work in a respectful workplace. Thanks for listening. And as always, I'd love to hear from you, so don't hesitate to reach out. Thank you.